is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvietto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orviettosawards.com. Orvietto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Slowman Shield Link, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Slowman Shield Link. Be the maestro of your own home.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Kaneswear. New store, new items. Same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Kaneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Kaneswear.com. Kaneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Ray. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Ray can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines. #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
girls, welcome aboard on a beautiful Wednesday. It is Hump Day, February 25th, 2026, day number 19,030 since the Miami Dolphins were world champions, day number 8,815 since the Miami Hurricanes were national champions. Welcome aboard, folks. This is why we tell you to hit the notification bell. Today we started at 9:55 instead. So instead of the 10 o'clock. And why? Well, because Ferronis, we couldn't run into him yesterday. So he's going to join us now live here in just a couple of minutes from Indianapolis. So we'll talk to him. He had his one-on-one with Half. He went through the press conferences yesterday, all of that stuff. So we'll get his thoughts on it. On Halfley and Sullivan. Listen, for me, they've said all the right things. I can't sit here and go, wow, that was really stupid what he said. This is really dumb what they did. Can't say anything like that. So right now, I can't complain. You know what I mean? There's nothing really to complain about. And we just got to kind of wait and see and let it develop, right? Don't get ahead of ourselves. Don't say that they've turned the corner or they got the right guys or anything like that. We all hope they have the right guys. Well, we've always hoped they have the right guys. You know, if you're a fan, you want them to have the right guys. But it's just about proving. And so far, they've handled themselves the right way. It doesn't look like the moment's too big for them. And I think that's a good thing, too. You know, I will say this. One of the things, many things happened in the last regime that wasn't good, but one of the things that everyone was terrible at was public speaking in the media. We know that Stephen Ross sucks at it, and he'll always suck at public speaking. You know, he's trash when it comes to that. Plus, he doesn't know anything about football, so it just makes him sound stupid constantly. Chris Greer, I'm sure he knows his football, but publicly, it wasn't an authoritative voice that was out there on the press conferences. And Mike McDaniel was a complete disaster in public. So now at least we'll see if the football part meets, but at least now your general manager and your head coach actually sound like a general manager and a head coach. And that I give them, you know, that's good because you need people to be able to handle the media. And that wasn't a strong suit for Greer. And that definitely was not a strong suit for McDaniel. They weren't great at handling the media. And so, what's it called? You know, it's just one of those things. Sometimes people are, sometimes people aren't. You know, the owner isn't. You don't even need to hear from the owner anymore. He's useless. We all know it. He just signs checks. He has no idea what he's doing. You just hope that they hired the right guys finally, you know, and that's it. That's all we can. But at least Halfley has handled himself like a pro. He handles the media like a pro. Even that in that press conference with everybody in the combine, he's like, "Oh man, these Green Bay guys are aggressive. Let me relax here. Let me go to you guys here," because he wanted to address more of the Miami guys since he is in Miami. But the Green Bay guys had their questions too, because this fills up their notebook and they can write articles and fill space and all that bullshit. So, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, pretty cool overall. Pretty cool. You know, what can I tell you? But I at least right now, okay, the perception, the image of it, they look like they know what they're doing. They sound like they know what they're doing. Now it's up to them to prove they know what they're doing. It's pretty simple. It's really not that difficult anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we are about to get David Ferronis. Sean Stanley, do me a favor, send Ira Winderman a link also, because we will have Ira on right after we have David on. And there he is. All right, we go with our Welton Ray Miami Dolphins report with the one and only David Ferronis live from Indianapolis and the NFL Combine.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Ray Miami Dolphins report with David Ferronis is in session.
Welton Ray has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Ferronis.
All righty. Morning to you, my brother. How you feeling out there? Is it cold?
Good morning. Yeah, it is cold out here. It was in the 20s when I got here, warming up to the 30s. I think we'll get 40 today, but yeah, a little change of pace. And I know it's been cold for Miami standards over there, but much colder over here in Indy.
Yeah. This winter has been way too cold here in South Florida, bro. Way too many cold days here in South Florida. Unacceptable. I can't move farther south fast enough, bro. Anyway,
where else are you gonna go? You're gonna go to another country?
I'm moving to Panama, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
I will be moving to Panama sometime in the next couple of years. I will be moving to Panama for sure, guaranteed. Panama and Costa Rica, I'll be bouncing around and living la pura vida soon. I'll be doing it from there every day. That'll be the plan, Stan. But anyway,
Big O going worldwide. Big O show worldwide.
I mean, well, it has already, right? We've been in Madrid doing the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're nationwide and worldwide. You know what I mean? So it's all good.
You're coming for Pitbull as Mr. 305 and Mr. Worldwide.
That's it. I'm actually the real 305 because I was born and raised in 305. See, that's where a lot of people can make that claim. You know, they say, well, I'm Mr. 305. Well, yeah, because you moved here. You know, no. I'm born and raised in 305. So I'm the real.
Born and raised in the county of Dade.
Yeah, well, no. I was born in Belle Glade, Florida.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Well, you were just saying born and raised in 305. And
that's right.
You're switching.
That's right, bitch. Back in 1966, half the state was 305, mofo.
Oh, shit. Okay. Wow.
Facts are very important in your business and in life, aren't they? So we didn't have that many people in 66.
I had no idea about this.
Youngin', you learn every day. You learn something. So area codes get shrunk because the populations grow. So the population wasn't big enough. So Belle Glade was the 305, baby. So
Wow. Okay. You got in on technicality. All right.
No, I'm an originality. Sorry. The technicality. I'm the originality. Okay. So that's the way it goes, dude. I was here first. 305 was here first, not 786 and 954 and 561 and all that. Those are newcomers.
Yeah, I truly am 305, born and raised of what today's 305 is.
Right. Exactly. But, I was real.
But my number has always been 786. So
yeah. Well, see, but I was in the real 305 when it was all 305, actually, down here. But anyways, one of the things that I do like, and I just mentioned this, and it's nothing against these guys as professionals or anything like that, because I'm a Greer fan, and Mackenzie and Allen, I like those guys. But Chris Greer wasn't good in public. He wasn't great at handling the media. And Mike McDaniel is absolutely horrible in handling the media. He cannot really run a room and talk the way you're supposed to. And you know that Stephen Ross sucks at it, and he will always suck at it because he's only going to get older now, so that's going to make him worse. So that was like a real bad thing for the organization overall and the way they communicated with the public and the media. I'm watching half yesterday, and the Green Bay guys are aggressively filling their notebooks for all their bullshit stories throughout the offseason to fill it in and all that fluff stuff. And he All right. The Green Bay guys are kind of aggressive here. Let me focus on you guys. You know, the Miami guys and all that kind of stuff. Though, I just watch him handle the media, answer questions, and for John Eric Sullivan, the same thing. Handle the media, answer questions, and it's all done in a very professional manner. They're saying all the right things right now. We really, I don't know about you, but I can't really pick at anything they've done right now and say, oh, they screwed up. You know what I mean? If they sign Malik Willis, that'll be my first one that'll say, well, they fucked up. What are you going to do? You know, it is.
What price though? You wouldn't even take him for a bargain?
Bro, you don't put a guy like that in this situation. You don't. That's typical Dolphins. Right now, you're in a rebuild. The place is going to be a disaster. You're not going to have a lot of talent. You're going to have a lot of rookies. Why would you bring in a young quarterback that really needs to run for his life the entire time? And he's also fragile. He only played a couple games and got injured. So, he's a kid. Right now, the quarterbacks you have back there, they shouldn't be worth anything. To be quite honest. Get a middle round pick. You got Ewers, and then go get a Garoppolo, a Geno Smith, a Flacco. You know, somebody that you don't give a shit if they get hurt or you can pull them and start them and pull them and start them because you want to play Ewers or you want to play the rookie for a couple of games or whatever. That's what this season's going to be about. The last thing you do is invest a bunch of money in a quarterback that's going to take a beating back there. As I've said this before, everybody has to learn from the past, bro. And you got to understand, you can't go get your quarterback and then rush to build the team before you got to repay him again. No, dude, go build the team. Then go get your young quarterback. That way, when the young quarterback steps in, he has to be Ben Roethlisberger. He has to be Tom Brady. He has to just, get the job. Don't screw it up for us. That's what Tom Brady did in the first 2 Super Bowls. Don't really screw it up for us. Make a couple passes. The first Super Bowl for Ben Roethlisberger, he was just a don't screw it up guy. The second Super Bowl, he was the bad mofo that made it all happen. But in the first one, just like Tom Brady, their teams were so good that, you know, all you got to do is Jalen Hurts or Nick Foles the bitch. That, to me, is the way the Dolphins need to go. Build the team first. So when you do get your young quarterback, now you've got a nice window because he's working with the team now instead of you rushing to win everything before you got to pay the quarterback. And then once you pay the quarterback, as you know, all hell breaks loose and you start losing pieces and things like that. So for me, in this situation, in this scenario, the last thing you do is bring in a high-priced quarterback. So if you're going to pay that kid $30 million, for what, bro? For what? What are you trying to do this year? You know what I mean? So I think it's a really stupid move. Plus, I don't even believe in the kid. First of all, let's just go where the facts are. I don't even believe in the kid. There's not enough of a sample size to have any. I'm sorry. That's just me. But, you know, that's another point there. The initial point that I was trying to make with you is.
Sorry to get you off topic. Yeah.
You're the media member. Okay, that goes there every day. I'm watching it from afar. To me, at least, I think that's a positive for the Dolphins, that they have people now that can truly communicate their message. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, now it's going to be John Eric Sullivan as the voice for the roster building, the roster decision-making, whereas Greer, like last year, he wasn't he wouldn't go to the podium for any of the years that I covered the team at the Combine. He wouldn't do podium interviews. And last year, a big deal was made of that he was one of only a handful of whatever the number was, GMs across the NFL who were not doing such interviews. Sullivan, he takes it to a further extent, and maybe this first part was only because it's his first year, but he did a private conversation with the South Florida media members, the beat writers who traveled. We got out in front of a lot of the storylines, like the Tua thing. Everything's on the table, you know, which we kind of figured, but just what they thought about all these different players. Did that. then we go to the podium. Then, we don't even have to ask him another question. He already answered all of our questions in a 30-minute time span. And then he took a lot of like national media questions. It was great for us because oftentimes at the combine, you're competing with, like you just saw in that Hafley interview, and we didn't have to go like, try and butt heads with them. It was like we've already gotten so much, like we're gracious for the Dolphins for how they've opened up with these private conversations with Hafley, with Sullivan, that they also gave us. So it was like, we don't have to go butt heads with everyone else. But all these other people that are at the combine, national people, maybe people from other beats that want to get some tidbits from other coaches, other GMs, then they're trying to go ask their questions. That's their one chance they're going to get, maybe at owners' meetings, at the coaches' conference. But so it was great for us. And for the Dolphins, now you have that voice at the top. Like I know for the Heat, from the 1 year I covered them as a backup to Ira Winderman, it was that Pat Riley is the voice of what this team is doing. He's the one that speaks for it. And then now kind of with Sullivan, maybe we're seeing the early the start of establishing that it's going to be Sully talking about the roster. Hafley's the coach. He's going to go coach the team, and sure, he's going to opine on a lot of the roster and tell you what he thinks. And these guys, they're great communicators. You saw it from Hafley, direct communicators. It's going to be a 180 in that regard.
Yeah, that to me is a huge difference, that at least you got better communicators, I think, overall. And by the way, Church and State has been also separated. I also noticed where Sullivan and Hafley, their jobs are truly defined. Like Sully won't answer a scheme question. He'll go, no. You got to ask the coaches about all of that kind of stuff. And so I like that, because we're going to have an opportunity to judge each guy on what they do, instead of, well, the GM did what the head coach wanted or whatever, which I just don't believe in that, to be quite honest. I think that's what did Chris Greer in, is you could listen to your coach and see what kind of player they want, what kind of style or whatever, but you need to pick the player. And you need, and sometimes you need to tell the coach, no, you're going to work with this guy instead. I'm going to get another guy for the future instead, and we're going to plan for the future. And that's how it has to go. And I don't think, unfortunately, Greer didn't put his foot down enough in that sense. I kind of get the feeling that there's a separation of Church and State here, and that Sully's going to do what he has to do in personnel, and then Half does whatever he has to do with the personnel he has.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, you see that. And then when you talk about the communication aspect, it wasn't fair to Mike McDaniel in the past to field all these questions when Greer wasn't speaking. And it was, few and far between, because, it doesn't help anyone. For us, trying to get the answers, for the fans that want to hear the answers, you're talking to the coach about all the roster decisions, and then it's few and far between the times that you do hear from the actual general manager. But then at the end of the day,
as far as we knew, McDaniel was helping out with the search for the new GM. That's the kind of dysfunction that is gone now. It's gone, because that won't happen anymore. It's been defined now. You know what I'm saying? I think that's huge, where if there's personnel decisions, Sully's going to answer them. If it's coaching decisions, you're going to get Half. You're not going to get, like you said, McDaniel answering all kinds of stuff that he shouldn't be answering.
Yeah. And I wonder if that separation, if it came from the outside, if it was like Troy Aikman when he came in, and maybe that was some like fresh perspective that because, I'm just spitballing here. It's not like I previously thought of this. It was just like, okay, well, yeah, this is something new. If a lot of the people, it's still Stephen Ross as owner. Now, Slowman has had an elevated role, but you have your new GM. You still have Brandon Shore in place in his role. Your new GM, your new coach. Dan Marino has been around. So I wonder if that was some fresh perspective that Troy Aikman instilled maybe when he got involved, because it had to come from somewhere, or it was just a realization from these same people like, all right, we have to do it this way as we move forward and we find this new GM first. I liked how they prioritize that. If you think back to the start of the offseason, hit the ground running that Monday, where they didn't even make a decision on the coach, on Mike McDaniel's status, because they were so locked in on we are looking for our GM. And then that decision came down, a few days down the road, which that part was a little bit rare. You don't see it as often, but ultimately they did make that decision once they got close to finalizing the GM.
They pivoted. They were McDaniel's GMs, then they pivoted, and then they pivoted again. They pivoted to Harbaugh, and then they pivoted again to John Eric Sullivan. Whatever, bro. It is what it is. Hopefully they got it right. On the Tua front, did you pick up like one of the things I talked about in the offseason, for sure they're releasing him. Maybe they could trade him to somebody where they pick up some of the salary and they get some kind of a late round pick or 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, whatever, depending on how much they pick up. But in understanding everything that they're going on fiscally, it is so bad because they're going to release so many players and so much dead money that the Tua thing is going to be for sure a June 1 cut now. I don't think there's any chance there's a trade anymore because I don't think fiscally they could do that where they would have to take even more of a hit in the first year. So the whole 66-33 thing, I think, is the only way they can go in the Tua thing. Have you come to that conclusion also, or do you still think there's some hope for a trade? Because I fiscally don't think now it's really possible.
Yeah, we posed the pre-post June 1 question, and then the first time it slowly seemed to really emphasize, like, if we go down that right, like he's really trying to make this trade scenario happen. So I think that's first and foremost the priority. They're not trying to get to that point yet. So definitely looking for the trade opportunities, which, yes, would involve taking on a large portion of that salary, and you're not really getting much of a return. But, it'd be nice if you just grab an extra day 3 draft pick, however it may come. But then, once you get to that point, let's say, there is no trade partner available, then, it would seem unlikely to be able to make it work. Like, maybe they could do some salary cap gymnastics to make the whole $99.2 million dead cap in one season work, but it would take a lot. So I would put it as unlikely that you take it all in one. It would be mostly, I don't know what percentage I'd put on, if it's like 80, 90, but that it would be spread it out, which would be I forget the exact number, if it's 67.4 million, somewhere in that range of this season, and then the rest going into 2027.
With Tyreek and Chubb and Minka coming up, and just like probably going to release a few other people, Jason Sanders, whatever. You're going to release so much money, and you're going to have so much dead space. I just don't feel, because you need to clean out. This is the year this is your mulligan year. You got to do it. So I just get the feeling that they're not going to be able fiscally make it work, because it'll be so hard for them, because they still have to field the team, and they have to have money for the rookies and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just kind of like, and that's why I tell you that spending money also on a quarterback on top of all of that with a depleted roster, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense this year.
The Dolphins are already spending a lot of money on the quarterback. Right. That's the problem.
Yeah. So I'm thinking they're out of the Malik Willis deal, and I'm thinking that they're out of the trade Tua's June 1st. For me, that's the likely scenario, because I kind of get the feeling, as much as they've talked up Malik, that's not really – when I hear John Eric Sullivan, I just kind of get the vibe that they're not going in the Malik area in that direction, and I think they're not going to. They kind of realize it's going to be hard for them to pull off a Tua trade. That's all.
Yeah, no, I mean that all stands to reason. Yeah, you're kind of aligned with what's most likely to be reality. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those deals where they unfortunately are going to do it. By the way, what'd you think of the Jags giving away 2 home games?
Okay, so let me see. I was so focused on Dolphins, but what? It's international play.
They reported now that the Jags will play 2 home games in London.
Oh, okay, yeah, 2 home games as opposed to, because they've normally played 2, but it would be 1 technically away, 1 home, and stay the week. But yeah, giving up 2 home games, that's rough for the season ticket holders in Jacksonville, especially for a team on the rise that won the division and had an upstart year in the first year of Liam Cohen, has Anthony Campanelli, who's doing a tremendous job and getting head coaching interviews as DC. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Some Dolphins fans want to talk about bad deal here. That now you have to go through a rebuild and pay these prices. Whatever. Hey, it could be worse because you could be losing a lot more of your home games to the international market.
I'm glad you just brought that up because I think that's coming.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's where you're going with it.
That's where I'm going with it, baby, because eventually, in the very near future, we're going to 18 games. That'll be 9 home games. And then at that point, Stephen Ross has already given away 1, and he's going to give it away constantly to Spain. So, and Brazil's also there. I predict the Miami Dolphins in the future will have 7 home games during the 9 home game season because Stephen Ross's greedy self will sell 2 of the home games to make more money internationally. Your thoughts on that, young man?
Well, yeah, and the way it works now is that you alternate years where you have not within a 17-game regular season. You alternate years where you have 9 home games and 8 home games. So the Dolphins last season, it was the 9th. It was the extra home game that did go to Spain. They were the home team against Washington. 23, actually, it was a road game that went to Germany. It was Kansas City's home game. So Tyreek Hill's return to Arrowhead was delayed only because then they played him in the playoffs in the freezing cold. So they still played that later that year. But yeah, and most of the other examples, they have been Dolphins home. I think all the other examples actually of Dolphins international play.
We're moving into that direction, bro, where he's going to start giving up it every year, and eventually it'll be 2. When we have the 18 games, watch.
And we know it's a priority. It's a priority for the organization. Going back, I remember some extensive reporting from the great article written by ESPN's Kaylin Collar that she laid it out. She had Tom Garfinkel interviewed for it, and that it really is a priority for the organization is to build this international brand. They're rolling with that. So
it's a priority because it's another revenue stream.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
They've already milked all the revenue streams here. They got into the internet, they got into the platforms, they got all that done. They have milked it all. Now the next step is international. And so now they'll go international and they'll bring in much more money for their teams. And Stephen Ross and the Ross family are all about money. And so, it's guaranteed that that's where the Dolphins are headed. They're headed to sell 2 of their home games when we have 18. That'll be my prediction when it's all said and done. It'll take a few years, but it eventually you'll be dealing with 7 home games yearly. And I bet you they play 1 in Spain and 1 in Brazil. That's kind of the plan already because those are their 2 markets. So they're going to have certain teams that are going to be going out there constantly. And the Dolphins obviously are one of the top international markets in the United States. So, send them out there. So I just kind of get the feeling that, the Jags are showing us what's coming ahead of time in a way. They've been doing it ahead of time, and we have then slowly but surely followed them and then continue doing the same thing. So, it is what it is, bro. It's just kind of.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you got going on, bro? So I know you're off to see a player right now.
Yeah. Ruben Bain will have his combine press conference. I think Akeem Mesidor is going at the same time, but I did get to speak to Mesidor training locally at Bommarito, so I'll get to focus on Bain at his podium. Have so many Dolphins nuggets from the conversations with John Eric Sullivan and Coach Jeff Hafley up on expectations for year 1, how they're going to run, how they're going to operate. Hafley said the process is the most important thing early on. Hafley talking about the 4-3 edge guys or 3-4. He likes them all. He's gonna be based out of the 4-3, so we got that answer. But that he's going to be using different personnel or the same personnel to get to the different groupings, whether they're multiple with the 4 down linemen or 3, and all the news on personnel stuff between roster moves, including Tua, the team's perspective on Malik Willis, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Brooks and Brewer, all that on our website, sunsentinel.com. So
by the way, going to 4-3 helps that they drafted 3 defensive tackles. That will help out a lot.
They can rotate there. Very well.
And Chubb's release makes even more sense now if you're playing 4-3 because you'd rather have Bradley in a 3-4. So.
Yeah. I mean, because he's done that, and he's at an older stage where if you're going to convert Chop Robinson into that kind of player, he's still earlier in his career where you can, transform him a little bit. He'd probably have to bulk up to get there and be able to play the 4-3 defensive end and put his hand in the ground.
He's got the frame. Mm-hmm. He can do it. He's got the frame.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, but he's still got to build on it. He's got to build on it for sure. So right now he'd be more of a speed rusher.
Tractor trailer went from safety to linebacker to defensive end to defensive tackle.
And a big one at that.
Can you imagine going from safety to defensive tackle? Okay. Ain't that some shit, as Gnarls Barkley would say. All right. Follow him at David Ferronis _ and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Enjoy St. Elmo's. We'll catch up later on in the week, my brother.
Gotta make sure I get there this week. I had Prime 47 last night.
Right. There you go. All right, doggy. Be good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Welton Rayom, proud sponsors of our program. We love Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom. Bankruptcy, unfortunately, bankruptcies are at an all-time high. Car repos, if you're dealing with it, this can happen to you. This can happen to me. This can happen to any of us. Homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Man, they do it all, folks. Please call my guys, Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom. The consultation's free, so you can explain your situation, and then they'll understand whether you have a case or not, and they can move forward and help you out, man. So if the consultation's free, find out if you have a case. Something happens, some property damage, maybe your neighbor busted pipe and the water damage did something to you. Don't call the insurance companies. Never call the insurance companies. You call Welton Rayom first. They send their adjusters, and then they call the insurance company on your behalf. That's the best way it works out. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Ferronis. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Is the bounce happening? We are at 67,000 right now for Bitcoin, down to 62, up to 67, up almost 5% on the day. 4.86. We are flying right now, man. Damn. And the Dow, let me see. I just pulled it up on the app. Let me see if I get a little refresh action, because it says it's up 150, but maybe we're up more. Maybe we're up more. We'll see. Maybe we're up less. I don't know. Let's see. It's stuck at 150 here. S&P is at 41, and the NASDAQ is up 1.5 right now. We're up 150. 150. That's it. That is the number right now. 150. All right. Locked in. Ira Winderman will be joining us any minute now, so we'll have a little fun. We'll talk to Ira after they lost to the Bucks last night. They played 3 straight sorry teams, and they lose to this one. It's like, this is who they are, dude. They're just, they're just there. They're nothing special, unfortunately, to be quite honest. But what are you going to do? Tyler, bro, inefficient as hell, man. Inefficient as hell. He started off really hot, and then last, 3 games, I want to say, he has shot at a very poor percentage, overall. And we need him to play better so you can trade his ass. All right. Jaguars giving up 2 games in a season. They only have 8. Wow. Yeah. That's because you make more money overseas, dude. And Stephen Ross is all about money. So he certainly hasn't proven that he's about substance. He's about money. And that's what they figure out on how to make money on that property. By the way, we're up 95 points now. S&P's up 39, and the NASDAQ's up 2, actually. So the NASDAQ actually went up a little bit. But, no. All right. But I like to see that. I wonder if this is the bounce for Bitcoin. We'll see. We shall see what we shall see. Let's see. Hey, Sean, let's get to our 3A graphics sports calendar before the one and only Ira Winderman pops in. If you need custom printing and embroidery, 786-618-1443. Bucks defeat the Heat 128-117. Powell has 26 points. Ware had 14 points, 8 rebounds in 9 minutes. Thursday, they're at Philadelphia at 7 o'clock. UM with a nice little win against FSU. I mean, FSU's not very good. 83-73. UM is 22-6, 11-4 in the ACC. Saturday, they're at BC at 2 o'clock with 3 games left in the season. March 7th, the Fort Lauderdale United are back in action next weekend. They will take on the NWSL champ Orlando Pride at Beyond Bankcard Field. You can get your tickets at FTLUTD.com. And Thursday, tomorrow, your Panthers are back in action to start the second half of the season. They take on Toronto. Face off at 7 o'clock at Amerant Bank Arena. That is your 3A graphics sports calendar. All right. Let's talk a little basketball with the one and only Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Ira, how are you doing, my brother? I was
after last night's game, not really so good. I mean, this team lifts you up, teases you, but you know what, Big O? You and I have been talking our accurate Pembroke Pines report for months. We know who they are. We know on their best day they can be very good, but we know overall this is a middling team stuck in the worst place in all of sports, in the middle, and refusing to get out. And we don't see that changing. And you have the wonderful optimism of Pat Riley. And I'm not saying anyone should go up to him and slap him in the face, but at some point, when you keep trying to make chicken soup out of all this chicken feathers or worse, you are what you are. I mean, that was not a great Milwaukee Bucks team last night. No. That was not a team particularly healthy or anything like that. But they had the Heat's number on defense. And the one thing I pointed out in my Ask Ira today in the story I just posted at the Sun Sentinel, you can't play defensively with Norman Powell and Tyler Hero on the court at the end of games against today's dynamic NBA guards. I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. looked like MJ out there at the end of last night's game. And that's a concern right now. And that's something that Eric Spoelstra is going to have to consider. This is an interesting mix of players. Big O, is it the right mix of players?
No, of course not. And there's no stars on the team, and you need stars. And it's just and again, when you're weak defensively in certain spots, and when you put your big men out on the perimeter, which also then hurts your interior, you know, because you watch Ware's numbers every night since he's playing outside, there's no block shots. And, you know, it's just not a good thing. And then you've got Tyler, who's been inefficient offensively the last 3 games. He just has not been shooting well. Even Bam is not necessarily the most efficient big man out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's
he's not, it's like you said, he's not a dynamic big man. Look what's going to happen Thursday. When the Sixers are healthy and Joel Embiid is playing like he did last night in Indiana, That's when you see greatness in the middle. So let's, you know what? The Heat are chasing the Sixers for that last non-play-in spot. When you align these rosters and say to yourself, is Bam Adebayo better than Joel Embiid? No.
Oh.
Is Norman Powell better than Tyrese Maxey? No. And right now, I hate to say this, but is Tyler Hero better than VJ Edgecombe? Probably not the way Edgecombe is playing in his rookie season. So who are you fooling right here, Big O?
Nobody.
When you're saying we're going to get out of the play-in.
Oh,
We're going to
me.
get to number 6. Okay, I'm not putting you in there. But our general talk over the last, few weeks or so in our Acura Pembroke Pines report is the reality is the teams you are chasing are better. And you keep telling us, and it's true, with Eric Spoelstra, he can work miracles. He can get, lemonade out of a dried up lemon. But at some point, talent matters.
Right. But by the way, you're 31-28 because Eric Spoelstra is your coach. If
Correct.
somebody else was your coach, you'd be 20-40 or something at this point. That you'd be the other way around right now. You'd be you'd be deep into the lottery, so at least that would be a good thing. And that's where the living in denial is so disturbing by the Heat. Like, we're above, the tanking stuff and all that. Well, dude, that's the rules. Those are this reminds me of all the idiots that pick on the Yankees back in the day. And it's like, yo, dude, that's the rules. If they're allowed to buy people and pay the tax, then that's the rules. And that's
the Dodgers right now. The same thing. The reason they're the dominant team in baseball.
And the Dodgers right now.
Yeah.
Those are the rules, dude. Those are the rules. So who the hell are you that you think you're above everybody else? So you're above giving your fans a better product. So you will go the ignorant route to have a poor product on the hard court, and then you're trying to sell us something that's not real. And it's just I don't understand it. I really don't understand the Heat. And you're trying to change, you're trying to redesign the wheel, and the wheel is what it is. And if you want the commissioner to bail you out of your Rozier trade, you want the commissioner to bail you out of the rules of the league. And I'm sorry, dude. They're the Heat right now. It's a really sad state where they're at because
it's the danger. Wow, it's the danger of living in the past. And the one thing that you've adjusted in taking your show off terrestrial radio and getting involved more in where things are going, this is what I point to the Heat. Pat Riley is set in his ways, and his ways were really good for 2, 3, 4 decades. No question about that. I'm going to give you sort of a little backstory about what happened over the weekend when Pat's statue, unlike Dwayne, great statue, was done at the Lakers arena. And Pat Riley spoke about, and I wrote about this today in my blog and Winderman's View at sunsentinel.com, he'd like to see coaches get back into suits. Eric Spoelstra had a really interesting comment before the game in Milwaukee last night. And he said, you know what? The world is changing. Even corporate America now is going corporate casual more. I mean, you see, whether it's Steve Ballmer or Bill Gates, you don't see people in suit and ties anymore. The world has changed. So just as Pat Riley would like to see coaches in suits and ties, because
has he been ever in a suit practically? I mean, unless he's on Shark Tank, he'll put on a jacket or something. But outside of that,
no, it's a different world right now. And so what I'm saying is, even like Eric Spoelstra said, it's just right now, this is the look for the times. And the look for the times is tanking. The look for the times is lottery. The look for the times is resetting. There just are not teams in the NBA. Let's look who's at the top right now. In the East right now, it's the Pistons. Remember when they had that 32-game losing streak 2 seasons ago under Monty Williams? That's the tax you pay to rebuild. For as much as we've seen from the Thunder, and they're great young players, go back 3 years ago. They were dog crap. They were a non-playoff team. That was the tax you pay to get better. San Antonio Spurs, second best team most of the season. Now they move right near the top in the Western Conference. Same thing. People forget this. People equate Greg Popovich to Pat Riley and the greatness. Greg Popovich's final seasons were god-awful with the Spurs.
Yeah.
But that's what R.C. Buford and his front office knew were needed to get the kind of talent of Victor Wembanyama and Stephen Castle, and now they're right up at the top. Matter of fact, you could almost look at the top teams in both the East and the West. These teams go back 3 years ago were awful. You know what the Heat were in 3 years ago? They weren't awful.
I told you, everybody uses the lazy route. Oh, no, Philadelphia. No, dude, go look. Houston and all those other teams you mentioned, a whole bunch of them have tanked and have turned it around. Why? Because they did it the right way. Just because it didn't work out for Philadelphia doesn't mean it's the wrong way of doing it. Everyone else is starting to do it, and it's Orlando, everybody else, it's paying off for them, and they're in a much better place than you ever will be right now. So that to me is where it's so illogical what is going on down there in Miami with the Heat.
It's hard to change. It's hard to change.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You change, bro. You change. If you know
it's hard to change when you haven't changed for decades.
Dying, you make a move, and you know platforms are the way. You make the move, okay? You know, if you know money is dying, you make the move because Bitcoin is the way, because they'll keep printing and they'll keep devaluing our money at 7% a year while everybody has a little money market going 4 and 5 and inflation's at 7, not at 3 because of the printing going on. But people don't understand that. So you must adjust. When I was young in this business, everybody was walking around with a fucking Marantz tape player. I'm the first guy that went and bought a digital recorder. And all of a sudden, QAM and everybody else started buying digital recorders. You must adjust to the times. If you don't adjust, the times will run you over. And that's what we're watching with the Miami Heat. The times have run them over. And again, this reminds me of the Dolphins, dude. I'm old enough that all this shit repeats. All this shit from 2004 to 2014 was the 70s for the Dolphins. From 2015 to 2025 was the 90s for the Dolphins. And now we're headed for the next worst, decade, because, the Dolphins get worse and worse every decade. The same thing is happening here. The last 10 years, you made it to the finals like the Dolphins made it to the Super Bowl a couple of times, but you weren't really good enough. And now we're going to see what happens over the next 10 years because you've become kind of like a play-in team, which is what the Dolphins are. Middling team that either barely makes the playoffs or doesn't make the playoffs. They are mirroring each other because the old man, Shula, couldn't change with the times when the free agent and cap came in. And now this is going on. And these guys refuse to change because they're above tanking, because we're above having really terrible seasons. That's just, I don't understand this thinking, bro.
My analogy is this. When you get an injury and the doctor offers you two options. One is he'll give you a shot and temporarily you will feel better and get out there. Or he'll tell you it's going to take 2 months of rehab to fully re-strengthen your knee and get you back to where you want to be so you'll be your full self going forward. The Heat have kept taking the shot. It's almost like they wanted Tyler Hero when he was out to keep taking the shot and take the short-term thing. The one difference I will say with the Dolphins is this, especially Shula during the Joe Robbie era. It was Don Shula, and that was it. He was the be-all, end-all. He made the decisions, coached, made the personal decisions done. The difference with the Heat is you have the brilliance of Andy Ellisberg on the cap. He knows what needs to be done money-wise. You have the brilliance of Eric Spoelstra working with today's player. There's a reason he's the next Olympic coach. He relates to today's players. He knows what they want. You have the brilliance of Adam Simon, who no matter where you've drafted before, you get a Yakachonis, you get a Jaquez, you get a Hillel Ware. Imagine what you can do at 1 through 5 with what you're doing at 15 through 20. So what has to happen is there has to be some sort of come to Jesus moment with Ellisberg, with Spoelstra, with Simon, sitting down with the Arisons and Pat Riley and saying, hey, give us a chance. We can make the money work. We can make the motivation work. We can make the picks work, but it will take time. You have to sacrifice. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm not saying the lottery's the right thing. I'm not saying tanking is the right thing.
No, Ira, it is the right.
But it's the rules of the game. It's the rules of the game. If Mickey Harrison could be like the new Dodgers ownership and saying, we will pay Ohtani, we will pay the best free agents, there is no salary cap, we can pay $1 billion on our payroll as long as we're willing to pay the tax otherwise, but there's no limitation, then I'd say, screw it, go all in. Buy 10 free agents. I don't give a rat's butt. Right. But there is a tax. There is an apron. There is a salary cap, and you have to work within that because that's what Adam Silver decided he wants his leagues to be. And now, they're going to flatten the lottery odds, it will be easier for not being god-awful like the Sixers, but just being pretty awful because they flattened the top 4 odds now, and it looks like they're going to flatten even more. Big O, here's the fascinating thing. The Heat can't tank this season. They can't. There's too much worse at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. With Washington, with Brooklyn, with Indiana, with Chicago. We're done.
Right.
But they can lose the play-in games. They can lose the play-in games and give themselves a shot that if not going to be a top 3 pick, they could still wind up in a place where they can get a better pick than they otherwise would get. There is a very real decision coming for this Miami Heat team when they get to the play-in round. Not that Eric Spoelstra will coach to lose, but there will be a quicker path to take a number 10, 11, or 12 pick versus a number 20, 21, or 22 pick. And it can happen overnight if you simply say, all right, we're going to play the Magic and lose this game. It's going to be hard for them to do. Can't be intentional, but they could know what matters most for this team, especially when next year's first-round pick might have to go to the Hornets to pay off the Terry Rozier trade. Look, you made a bad trade, but I got to tell you, you only owe 1 first-round pick. Think of all those years. Every other year you owed a pick. You owed a pick to the Suns for Dragic. You owed a pick for the Jimmy Butler, Myers Leonard trade to the Clippers that went to the Thunder. You owe the Hornets a pick. If you're down to just owing 1 pick, you're in a far better place than you were before. So the Heat do have that optionality. But man, that's going to be a hell of a closed-door meeting to try to convince Riley and the Harrisons to maybe let go of the sellout streak, let go of the playout streak, but create a brighter tomorrow for Nick Harrison to get this team through the next stage of their development.
You know, I know this is kind of like a player that people have want to move on, especially for me. I've been wanting to move on from him for a while, and it's Tyler Hero. But the interesting thing that has developed in Tyler Hero's life here with the Miami Heat, and I was thinking about this, his days as a starter are over for the Miami Heat. And barring injuries, of course, of the people ahead of him. But because of his injuries this year, because of the lifting of Yakuchonis and company, and what's left in this season, going into next year, you're going to go into a final year for him pretty much, right? So you're going to be moving on to the future. And the future is Yakuchonis and others. And then if you maybe you have a draft pick, maybe you don't, whatever. And all of a sudden now, Tyler is going to have to make his bones off the bench moving forward from here on out, because if you're the Miami Heat, you need to turn the corner now and you need to start to commit to other people because you've done enough committing to this guy as it is, and you've been set back more than enough. So I think Tyler Hero's days as a starter are over for the Miami Heat, barring a bunch of injuries.
I'm going to go the opposite way for one reason. I think it has become evident, even in the short run, you can't play Tyler and Norman Powell together. They're both defensive liabilities. It doesn't work. Yeah. Norman Powell is an impending free agent. So Big O. As much as Norman has done more for the Heat this year than Tyler, he's an all-star. I'm not sure I want to tie up money. How many times have I spoken to you in recent years about players in their 30s, and you've told me, no. I Jimmy Butler. No more money to players. You might have to let Norman walk. Well, if you let Norman walk, I think Tyler does move back in the starting lineup. And for this reason,
you don't think
it would be Tyler's final season.
You don't think Yakuchonis becomes a starter?
I think you can start Tyler and Yakuchonis. God bless Davion Mitchell. I can move past him and start those two for this reason, Big O. If Norman Powell walks, and Tyler Hero's just under contract for $33 million, and you can't move him. You've spoken to me about this at the start of this year. Play the crap out of Tyler Hero. Remember your plan this year, Big O. Feature Tyler Hero the first 3 months of the season, and then at the February trading deadline, see ya. Except Tyler Hero never showed up for work. So in a way, we're back to the future.
Yes, I can't count on that.
But I'm saying you have no choice. But
I should have traded him the 1 year he was healthy, bro. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so you try to regain the health. Let me ask you this right now. Tyler Hero's under contract for $33 million, largely untradeable, because who the hell's going to trade for a player that plays 11 games, okay? Big O, would you extend for all he has done for the Miami Heat? Would you give a new contract to Norman Powell?
No. Well, see, here's the thing. Are you going to tank? Are you going to do what you're supposed to do? Then no. Are you going to be the same stupid Heat team? Then yeah, go ahead, sign him, because he's a lot more consistent than the other guy that you can't.
I'm saying, but in the Acura Pembroke Pines report, Big O plan, what you do is you tell Norm, man, I wish it would have worked out better. God bless you. That was a one-season run. It reminds me almost of Anthony Mason's All-Star season. Remember that? He had a good run, but when the Heat had to make a decision on a new Mason contract, they said, hey, we know this is a one-off. We're not going to get tied up. Milwaukee gave him that horse crap contract. If Andrew Wiggins says, I'm going to opt out, but I want to come back for 3 years or maybe shorter money, if I'm the Miami Heat, I go, God bless you, thank you, but no. So, Big O, what I'm saying is you start to excise some of the money, and then you can move back to a point where you say, look, we're back where we were a year ago, 2 years ago, with Bam and Tyler. We know this doesn't work. We will feature the crap out of these guys for the start of the season, maybe move off both of them, maybe get that first-round pick back to pay off the Hornets, and then go from there. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to phrase it this way, and then you'll never let me phrase it again, okay? What the Miami Heat need is an off-season enema to cleanse themselves of all their bad contracts. So when you're telling me, hey, Ira, they should tank, and you're telling me, hey, Ira, the last thing I want to watch is more Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, I'm saying, Big O, give us 6 more months. Move off of Wiggins, move off of Powell, let Bam and Tyler show us in November and December, and hopefully by January, when you and I a year from now are talking in our Acura Pembroke Pines report, you're going, man, Ira, there ain't no one left from that Jimmy Butler 2023 NBA Finals, but that was a fluke, and we had to move on, and now we're moving forward. So what I'm telling you, and it's odd, is I'm saying to a degree, more Bam and Tyler might be the way to go with a less supporting cast, because, man, isn't that a formula for the lottery?
Yeah, no, it is. It's a formula for the lottery. It's just I don't know if you can count on Tyler to do that for you to get to the point where you can set it up to trade him, because he constantly
breaks. Your only hope. It's one, it's your only hope, and two, it's an expiring contract otherwise. There is no worse feeling in sports than losing talent for nothing in return, which is why Ira Winderman said they should have traded Norman Powell at the trading deadline. They should have traded Andrew Wiggins to the trading deadline. But this is like Orlando Alzagari saying they should have traded Jimmy Butler in 2023 after they went to the finals and his value was the highest. You can't redo history, right?
That takes a special kind of balls to say that, and especially a special kind of balls to do it, which obviously the Heat did not have it, because it would have been awesome, because they would have gotten 3 or 4 first-rounders for his ass at that moment right there and then, because somebody would have bought in at that moment.
An older player, at least one, maybe two. The world is changing, taking on contracts. But the bottom line is, I really should be writing and ask Ira of, do the Miami Heat need a personal enema? And that's what they need. They need to cleanse out. They need a high colonic, and they've got to recognize it. Instead,
but if you're going to do that, then I'm with you. Get rid of everybody. Don't re-sign Paul. But if you're going to do the same stupid shit you're doing now, I can't count on that whole thing that you want to bring back Tyler and play him and build up. I don't believe he'll stay healthy. He's only stayed healthy 1 year.
And if not, he's an expiring contract. And if not, he goes into the ether.
That is true. That is true.
He goes into the ether. It's not like Bam, who's about to start the new 5-year deal. Tyler goes into the ether and you're done. What I'm saying is this. Pick a lane. When you hit the fork in the road, you can't keep driving down the middle, and that's what they do. And I'm going to give you the example. The Heat last night went into Milwaukee on a 3-game winning streak. But Big O, who was the 3-game winning streak against? The 3-game winning streak was against the Pelicans, an Atlanta Hawks team that has basically traded Trae Young and done for the season, and a Memphis Grizzlies team trying to lose. Well, all of a sudden, the Bucks are trying to win to keep Giannis there so they play strong. Philadelphia on Thursday, if Embiid comes back with Mackey and Edgecombe, they're in it for the minute right now. Then the Houston Rockets come here. The Heat just as easily could go from a 3-game winning streak to a 3-game losing streak, which is your absolute definition of mediocrity.
Right. And that's what they've been for a while now, unfortunately, man. I wish they would turn the page, man. I really wish that they would figure it out. All right, Ira, what do you got going on the Sentinel so Heat fans can check you out?
I posted it just now. Doc Rivers, after the game last night, said, we knew we had the defensive matchups. We attacked them. You cannot have Tyler Hero and Norman Powell at the end of a close game on the floor together. That's something that Eric Spoelstra is going to have to figure out and going to have to work on. I addressed that. I also addressed in my Winderman's View last night the Pat Riley statue. And you got to admit, Big O, I think you've seen it by now. That statue is awesome. And I wrote earlier in the Sun Sentinel this week, they've got to redo Dwayne now, don't they?
Well, the problem is Dwayne was in control of his own statue. So
okay, so you know what? Things don't turn out right.
I know. Listen, I would redo that statue, but bigger point to me is Mickey Harrison, your statue of Pat Riley when he retires, it better be 3 times that size. Okay, because the only reason your organization has mattered, it's because of that dude right there. Yes. So make sure you put a statue that is just the biggest statue in the world for Pat Riley outside that arena. That's what he deserves here, okay?
And the Lakers set the bar because that statue, if you haven't seen it, go online. I don't know, Big O, if you could pull up a picture later in the show, but that statue is fan-freaking-tastic. That is Pat Riley. I want to see him with his 15 strong cards in the locker room. You were there when they won the championship and what they did in that first year under Riley. That's what he deserves. He deserves his statue, just like Dwayne Wade deserves his statue. Let's celebrate the history.
Props to Shaq. Shaq. I thought the video was really, really good on his part, dude. Really good on his part. I thought he did an awesome job. And I'm not a Shaq fan because I don't like the way he treated, Riles
on the way out the door. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Ron Culp shit and all that. I'm not a fan of what he.
And I didn't come here to play with Chris Quinn. Yeah, all of that. Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of the way LeBron left too. That he waited till the moratorium was over to really screw Riley when he knew where he was going and all that, and he could have given Riley an opportunity in the moratorium and all that. There's a lot of things but I will say this with Shaq. The video was good, man. The dedication was really, really nice. And I thought Michael Douglas went a little too long, but hey.
He's Michael Douglas. He married Catherine Zeta-Jones. He can do whatever he wants. God bless him.
He's Michael Douglas. But, yeah, it was a great ceremony. It was just a great ceremony overall.
He did it right. And you know what, Big O, this almost puts a bow in our show today. When we're talking about sometimes you have to step back to step forward. The relationship with Shaq was garbage at the end. Been reclaimed. Hell, he's Mickey Harris's carnival spokesman. The relationship with LeBron was garbage at the end. The soccer game, the hotel in Vegas, Rich Paul wouldn't even let Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg in the door. They embraced at Crypto.com Center on Sunday. So for the people who were saying what you mentioned, that the Heat should step back to step forward, hey, sometimes you go through tough times, but as Shaq showed and LeBron showed, in the end, things have a way of working themselves out if you're patient and give it time. Something the Heat haven't been willing to do in recent years.
Yeah, unfortunately. By the way, do you think Doc Rivers is a Hall of Famer? Because I would not put him in the Hall of Fame.
I don't. You know what? There's a bunch of NBA coaches, the Dick Mottes and Bill Fitches, who stayed around a long time. But my question is longevity enough to make you a Hall of Famer? I think that's what Doc is. God bless Doc. He's plugged along in many different spots, but I'm not sure I ever looked at Doc Rivers and said, that's greatness right there. And that's what Hall of Fame should be. I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you. Safe in your travels. We will catch up next week, my friend.
Be back to yell at you next week in our Acura Pembroke Pines report. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. And the folks at Acura Pembroke Pines, they won't yell at you, baby. They will service. They will take care of you. They will make sure that your Acura is taken care of. Oil changes, tire rotations, that service center second to none. And then when it comes to the deals, the customer appreciation sales event is going on right now. And the 2026 Integra, $239 a month, 2.9% financing for 60 months. The ADX 2025 models still have a few around, and it's at $239 a month. That's ridiculous. 1.9% financing for 60 months. The 2025 RDX, my wife drives one every day, $369 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. And the 2025 TLX Tech, $389 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. Tell them that Big O sent you, man. Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the great people out there. And the service center, Mike Chan and Jordan Ferber, man. Great people out there. Their service center is second to none. So if you own or lease an Acura, go see our friends at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Right. Yes, sir. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. Adam Pinkser, thank you, sir. He sent in a Venmo. He says, I listened to Sully and Hafley's press conferences yesterday. I feel a lot better about them after hearing them in their interest in drafting a QB next season. You've preached for years about always having a fresh young QB on the depth chart. Should the starting QB not work out? Exactly. And that's the Green Bay way, where you continually draft quarterbacks. And to me, that's the only way of doing things. Even when you have one, if you have a stud quarterback starter, I'd still be drafting one every other year. Just in case, man. I'd always want to be working and trying to develop another guy. Not for the silly word competition. That does not happen, because that's just a dumb word, because that's an ignorant word in the NFL, because there is no QB competition. But, yeah, you want to always have somebody ready, an heir apparent, whatever it is. Or a trade chip, that if you do draft a guy that you can develop and then people around the league want him, then all of a sudden you're going to get more for him. So Green Bay's done that in the past. It's funny because people talk about QB competitions, which is something that Green Bay has never had. So next time, like you run into, whoever does radio or writing or whatever, I know we need QB competition. Then you tell them, hey, they've got the guys from Green Bay. Yeah. When did Green Bay have QB competition? Just do that to whatever writer or whatever. Just mention to them. Just, hey, give me the examples when Green Bay had QB competition. And, it doesn't exist. It's like the dumbest shit in the world. QB competition. Where? I'm sorry. I must have missed that. Did you see the guys you hired? They draft QBs, but they don't have QB competitions. No. They know who the starter is, and then they know who the heir apparent is. That's not QB competition. That's QB definement. That's QB planning. That is QB deliberate. That's what that is. It's not competition. Dumbest shit in the world, man. Anyway, people say whatever to get a click. By the way, Bitcoin's up to 67,447 now. So trying to make its way to 68 now. I like it. I like it. I like it. I can't complain about that. Yeah, that is good. Very good. All right. The Jaybird I see in the house. Thank you, sir, for smashing it. Jamie Zoria in San Jose. Thank you, sir. Dolphin Dave. Tampa Bay Lightning, we are the team to beat this year. Well, good luck to you guys, man. Cosa Nostra, true Fin fan, never been the type to care much about talk or get hyped up. It's all the usual cliche, same talking points. Sullivan Halfley are going to have to show me, not tell me. I agree. I totally agree. But at least they can deliver the message, which is something that was not very good for the organization the last few years. They weren't great at communicating with the fans and especially with the media. Just wasn't good. NorCal sees, funny how Omar is saying we have no chance for Malik Willis. I don't know. I did hear him tweet out something really stupid over the weekend, that he said that Jake Paul was ahead of Jake Long, or Patrick Paul is ahead of Jake Long. Like, that's some stupid shit. Love you, Omar. Okay? You're awesome. You're a good dude. But you say some of the crazy-ass shit in the world. Man, I used to point it out all the time when you were on my show all the time. All the crazy shit. And that's some crazy shit. To even compare Patrick Paul to Jake Long is ridiculous. Jake Long dominated from moment one. From moment one. Like, so, you know. Love Omar, but he's perfect for this business because he says all kinds of crazy, ridiculous shit, and that's what gets clicks and all kinds of stuff. So he's good for this business because that's what most people want. They want crazy stuff that makes no sense, and they can talk about it and all that kind of stuff, and hypotheticals and all that kind of bullshit. That's what we've kind of turned into as a society. So bullshit sports talk and crazy things like that, that's what flies. The actual truth and common sense, that shit don't fly. That shit don't fly. Let's see what else. Alexis Palenzuela, Cosa Nostra, Lenny Pena, good morning. The Heat are as mid as they come. Yeah, it's frustrating to watch. Yeah, it's just frustrating to watch people refuse to adjust to things that change. You know, it's just crazy. Gus 1388. Juan Rosa is in. James Vivinetti. Let's see. Horn Dog, good morning to you. Jeff in Long Island. All I expected this team to show me that we are improving with the GM and head coach. Yeah, that's what we want. Yep, that's right, NorCal. Be ready. Dolphins will be giving away 2 home games. Yep. Ocala Joe, good morning to you, sir. Keep smashing it, and the like button too. I think the Jags are more willing to give up 2 home games next season since they are starting renovations on Everbank Field. Yeah, that's if you want to believe that, you can go ahead. But they were giving away a home game before they, everybody else, and they had a stadium and they had a fan base and everything and all that. Yeah, it's not about that, bro. It's about money. It's about making money. And you make more money taking your game overseas. That's all. It is what it is. Can't do anything about that. Mark Friedman in the house. Of course he did. It's time for him to sell the team. He is too cheap. Are you talking about the Dolphins or are you talking about the Heat? Either way, neither one is going to be sold, by the way, just out of curiosity. So we're stuck with the owners if you don't like them. The only owner that could sell maybe is Bruce Sherman. That's about it, But first he has to build up the value because it's either right at the value they bought it or less or barely more because, the Marlins have no value. So that's kind of weird for that one. Big O, so what I missed, I need to watch the last two shows I missed. The Miami Heat, such a disappointment this year. Season ticket since Wade was a rookie. We are Sioux Falls varsity. Yeah, basically, Anthony. Yeah. The worst part is that the Heat keep trying to sell you something that's not accurate and not real. It's kind of like when somebody tells you that the economy is doing great and, we're doing so much winning that please stop it. We're winning so much. When they tell you that, and you're like, what are you talking about, bro? That's kind of the same thing, don't lie to people. That's what you're doing, the Miami Heat. You're lying to people. And this whole thing about it, we're above tanking and all that. I got to tell you something. I am going to give fans in general more credit for understanding the sports business side of it, that if the Miami Heat tear it down and tank, that fans will actually be happy about it. They know they're going to suck. It's not fun to suck, but actually what you don't see, the Heat don't ask the fan, would you rather just us suck completely for a year or two or three and then be in the lottery and go get it? Or would you us try to get to the playoffs, but we're a middling team every year and we're in the play-in? I think 99% of fans are going to tell you, no, bottom out, dude, so you can, do what Detroit did and do what Orlando's doing and San Antonio and OKC and all these teams that are doing it the right way, except for Philadelphia, but everybody else, it's worked out for them. Yeah, do that. Yeah. I think most fans would rather go through it. I think most fans would actually get more excited about the Heat if you end up in the lottery and you land a real young star, because you have no stars now. And by the way, welcome aboard to so many of you in Heat Nation that have now joined reality on this show, because we've been telling you for years that Bam and Tyler weren't stars. The local media wasn't telling you that. Now they're on the reality here of the Orlando Alzigari show. Now they all know that Bam is a super role player. Okay? They've all come over here because remember, reality. Don't if you ever get into this business, don't be honest with people. Lie, do all the fluff bullshit. That's what they love. They love for you to lie to them. Fill them up with lies. They love that kind of shit. So, and that's our problem. The Heat doesn't grow up. They don't figure it out. It's a shame. True Fin Fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. Team lifts and teases fools, not this fan. Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm done with the Dolphins. They have to prove it for me to get excited about the Dolphins. I have no excitement for the Dolphins whatsoever. I'm like the Dolphins with the Heat now, where I've been with the Heat for several years now, that this isn't shit. Even with Jimmy, I was saying this isn't shit. And again, it's not hindsight. This is all. That's the beauty of what I do, that I don't have to go by hindsight like a lot of other people and all that. No, I actually said it then, and I'm saying it now. So I'm with you, man. I'm with you. The Dolphins are where now with where the Heat, I have no enthusiasm for them whatsoever. You've got to build the enthusiasm in me. I'm with you. That's where I'm at with them. Think Blue Dodgers is smashing it, smoking it out in L.A. Let's see what else. So much spent talking about a fragile, mediocre player. Tyler Hero ain't shit, never was, never will be. Well, what can I tell you? I'm with you. I've never been a Tyler Hero believer or anything like that, I just thought it was a whole bunch of silliness, but it is what it is, just because he had his moment in the bubble. And that's it. The realist, not to mention his 488 yards receiving. Sports Miami Mike. I don't think he was talking. Oh, yeah, he talked to Jake Long. Yeah, the tweet is out there. He put that Patrick Paul was ahead of Jake Long. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I retweeted and everything. Like, please share what you're smoking with everybody else because that's some good shit. Some really good shit. Greetings from snowy Toronto. Hang in there, brother. Hang in there, Brett. Hang in there. Man, I live here in Miami, and I'm tired of the cold days that I've had. In Miami, I can't imagine those of you up north. Can't imagine. Like, there's no way I could live up there. No freaking way I could live up there. Both Grandpa Riley and Ross need to retire. Well, I mean, listen, you can forget about the Ross stuff. The family owns the team. The kid's going to take over. That's going to continue. You just got to hope for dumb luck. That's not going to happen. And Riley is not really in charge anymore. It's really Nick Arison. So the owners are the ones that really don't want to bottom out besides Riley. So we can't only blame Riley. We have to blame the Arisons too. Because the owners have to be on board. Because if the owner said, no, we need to bottom out, they would. But they're so afraid that people will drop their season tickets and they won't make as much money or whatever. And so he'd rather keep a team around that just teases you enough to sucker you in to get the tickets. And, you know, I really don't actually understand Heat fans. Because I would be raising hell if I was a season ticket holder about how their plan is every year, which is a terrible one, and how ignorant it is. That's the scary part. It's a really ignorant plan. Like, nobody does it this way anymore because you can't. The aprons don't allow you to do it. The rules don't allow you to play the way that Riley used to play the game. And I don't know how they don't see that. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah. Well, Miami doesn't care about baseball because baseball doesn't care about Miami. Baseball doesn't try. They don't spend any money. They never keep any teams. So, you know, baseball gets what it deserves in this town. See, the part that some of you don't understand is that South Florida sports fans usually are pretty smart, except for Dolphins. But overall, sports fans are pretty smart. If you don't produce, they don't show up. And so the Heat have committed to great teams overall, and that's why they get good attendance, you know. And the Marlins never commit, and that's why they get terrible attendance. The Panthers, they had terrible ownership forever, and they couldn't draw. 8,000, 10,000 people would show up constantly. Right now you got new ownership that commits, and now they're sold out every night. So you have to commit and try. The Dolphins get a great crowd only because they spend the money and they try, but it's not really substance that they're getting in the process. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird on the Dolphins part, but I give South Florida fans some credit there in that sense that they're still showing up. But in this town, if you want support, you got to entertain. You got to win. You got to win. If you're going to be a shitty team, you're not going to get support. And guess what? That's the way it should be. That stupidity of showing up no matter what, that's the dumbest shit in the world. Okay? Like, that's a fan telling the owner, oh, I don't care what you guys do. You can suck. And, you know, like Cubs fans for many years when the Tribune Company was owning them and they barely ever made the playoffs. They weren't any good, and yet the place was packed. Dumbest fans on the planet, continually showing up for a shitty product. To me, that's not you're a terrible fan. If you continually show up for a terrible product, you're a bad fan because you're sending a message to the owner. It's all right what you do. I don't think that's right. I think fans should hold the ownership accountable. That if they're not trying, they shouldn't either. So the Marlins don't try to win, and they don't deserve it. So they don't deserve any support. The fact that they actually get a couple thousand people to go out there, that is a crime, actually. They should have an empty stadium. They don't spend any money. They don't try to win at all. So the Marlins get what they deserve. They're a dog shit organization, and they should be treated like what they are. Dog shit. Let's see. Miami doesn't care about the Marlins. When they play the Mets and the Yankees, the fans show up. And what about the baseball classic? Packed stadium. Packed stadium. Oh, I'm sorry. That's because Puerto Rico has all the stars and the Dominican Republic has all the stars. And oh, I see, because then all the stars show up. But do stars show up at all at Marlins Park? No, because they have none. And when they develop one, what do? They trade them. So the Marlins get what they deserve. Actually, the Marlins get too much. They get more than they deserve. They shouldn't have any media covering them. Not one beat writer should ever be there. Not one camera should ever be there. Not one podcaster should ever be there. No fans should ever buy tickets to the Marlins. That's what they deserve. They get too much. Okay? Way too much. Marlins don't deserve anything. Frankie says, I like how Sully is direct with his answers when getting interviewed. I feel Greer never answered any questions direct with assertiveness. Yeah, no. I can disagree with that. Greer was not good at the podium. That was not his strong suit. Nope. And Mike McDaniel, definitely not a strong suit talking. And we know Stephen Ross. So, yeah. No. So that's one thing that has changed. Let's see what else. Us Dolphins gotta hope they got lucky with the new GM and coach, because unfortunately we're stuck with the same ownership that's clueless keeping. Yep, exactly, Big Johnson. Pat in Nashville, Omar has some good stuff, usually OD line, but boy, does he put out some silly stuff sometimes. Yeah, oh yeah, no, he does some good work, bro. I'm not saying all his, but he'll say some shit that makes no freaking sense whatsoever at all. He sees stuff that just makes zero sense. So, yeah, that happens. Well, any organization that loses for a pick belongs to this new generation. Tell your kids to lose. It has nothing. That's a stupid ass analogy, bro. When in life do you do losing to get better? That's not the world we live in. Just like my brother, you don't live in the world where you can go out and make a mistake with the law and they have the money to buy themselves out. You and I don't. Different world. Your analogy sucks, dude. In that world, you suck to get better, like OKC, like San Antonio, the two best teams in the West, like Detroit, the best team in the East. In that sport, you suck to get better. Not in life, you fucking moron. You're going to get D's and C's and F's, and you're going to graduate with your degree, and they're going to hire you in some law firm? Like the realist, do you have half a brain? Do you have a tenth of a brain? What kind of an analogy is that, dude? Jesus. Anyway, Jeff in Long Island. Fort Lauderdale United FC deserves more fans showing up. You got to win. Got to win, Jaybird. Got to win, bro. That is automatic. You don't win. I just said it. If you don't win, they don't show up. That's South Florida, bro. You got to entertain. You got to win. And that right now is the issue with Fort Lauderdale United. They're not having a winning season right now. And that is going to hurt them in South Florida. In South Florida, you must win. You must entertain. If not, the discretionary dollar is too stretched out. too stretched out. You will not get away with that. So that is not even in the cards, Jay. Okay? That's not going to change here in South Florida. You must win. You must entertain in order to draw people in. So when the Fort Lauderdale United, I'll give you an example. The Miami Fusion, we were averaging 7,000 fans when they hired Ray Hudson and Hamilton took over as GM. They blew out the first couple of idiots that were there. All of a sudden, we went from 7 to 11,000 fans. Do you know why? It wasn't just because of Ray Hudson. It's because Hamilton and Ray brought in a bunch of players, changed the whole look of the team. All of a sudden, we were playing a nice wide open type of style. It was fun. And Biba and everybody doing their thing. It was awesome. It was fun to watch. We went from 11, then we went to 14. And we were headed, and, obviously they canceled the team because the owner didn't have money and Horowitz was a disaster and all that. But the attendance started going up. Why? Because we started winning the last 2 years, because we started to entertain. That's South Florida, bro. They can go to Las Olas. They can go down to South Beach. They can go to Key Biscayne. They can go out to the swamp. They can go boating. They can go to restaurants. They can go to concerts. They can go to clubs. They can go to other sporting events if they want to. They can go to plays. They can go. There's so many things to do in South Florida that you're just because you're in the entertainment business doesn't mean shit. You better entertain. So right now, Jay Bird, the Fort Lauderdale United are not winning enough. And they have to win, and where they're at, they have to win and win on a consistent basis and for a couple of years straight so they can build a fan base. Not 1 year win and then disappear the next year, and then disappear again, and then come back and win, and then disappear again, and then win, and then lose and lose and lose. You can't do that. You got to win, and maybe that third year is when you start getting it. The Panthers, they didn't have the same support either. And then they started making the playoffs every year. And then all of a sudden it started, and you're starting getting it go deeper in the playoffs. And now it's hard to buy a ticket. You know what I'm saying? You must win and entertain in South Florida. That is the law. Okay? That is the law. Ask Nino Brown. That is the law. Big O, where did the Dolphins go wrong with the cap? We are paying so much money to players that are no longer. Well, that's been Frankie forever. They did the same thing with Tannehill and Ndamukong Suh. You got a short-term memory? When Shula left and he got fired, because he got fired, he left a cap mess for Jimmy Johnson the first 2 years. Yeah, I mean, Dave Wanstead left a cap mess. We've had cap messes forever, dude. This is all part of the whole process. It just looks bigger and bigger because the money's worth less and less, my brother. You listen to enough of the show that we educate folks. Not that I'm a financial advisor, but we educate folks and we explain to them about what's going on with our money, that they're printing 7 to 10% a year. So the money total expands. So that's why you buy less and less every year. And that's why it looks like it's more and more. You know what I'm saying? Because the contracts are bigger, but that's because the money is worth less and less. It's not because the money is worth more and more. It's worth less and less. Your Whopper isn't getting any bigger, but the price you're paying is. The donut you buy isn't getting any bigger. It's getting smaller, but the price you're paying is. So it's the same thing here, doggy. We've had cap issues and cap problems for almost practically every regime takeover has had to pick up a cap mess from the one before, Frankie. This is nothing new. The mess becomes bigger and bigger because the dollars are worth less and less because you're paying people more and more. The average price of a car now is $50,000. The average price of a car. $50,000. So money's worth less. Just that's what I've been trying to hammer away for years now here on the show, talking about Bitcoin and talking about our economy and talking about everything that's going on. So that's really what it is. Let's see. Yeah, that was a stupid chat, Lenny. No, there's no doubt about that. Not Frankie. That was the other guy with the whole comparison of ask your kids to lose. What kind of shit is that? Let's see, Dolphin Dave. If you don't support the baseball team, you can't keep your best players. Baseball needs a salary cap. Yeah, they do, but I mean, you also need a good owner. We constantly have bad owners. You know what I mean? So, Bitcoin almost at 68,000, baby. 67,891. We're just shooting up, man. We're up 6.5% today. Look out. All right, we'll see if this is the bounce back. I remember that pain so well. Yeah. Baseball owners run Major League Baseball. You will never see the Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Phillies agree to a salary cap. Jeff, you speak the truth. We'll find out what happens. I mean, the Miami Sharks started winning and made the playoffs, but ownership did not have enough money for sponsors, so they had to shut down the team this season. Yeah, but that's minor league sports, dude. The Matadors didn't make it here. The Hooters didn't make it here. I can go on and on and on and talk about what's the name of that basketball team from the USBL that we had here, the Floridians. No, the Tropical, right? Or Miami Tropics. Dude, this is notorious, Frankie. We're not a minor league. We're a town of entertainment, and it has to be major league entertainment. Bring me Beyonce, bring me Taylor Swift, bring me U2, bring me the Super Bowl, bring me the national championship, bring me major league teams. And if you're going to be college, notice the only one that plays with the big boys is the University of Miami. FIU, FAU, Barry, they've never crossed that threshold. Why? Because you got to be big league in order to bring us in. Miami is not about minor league, dude. Miami is about the Grand Prix. Miami is an F1 race. Miami is about big events. That's what we have here. It's about South Beach. It's about South Beach being an international city. You know what I'm saying? That's what South Florida is about, baby. South Florida is nothing about minor leagues. Everything in South Florida has to be major. Your entertainment. It was what I was just talking about. So that's why minor league teams have all failed here in South Florida. No minor league team ever makes it in South Florida. They all die. I don't give a shit where you're at. You can be in Palm Beach. You can be in Broward. You can be in Dade. If you're a minor league outfit, you will not survive here because we will not support it. It just doesn't happen. It's just the way it is. So those are the things that it's who we are. We're a big event town. People fly from all over the world to come to events here because this is a destination city. So NFL fans, if they can buy tickets to see a game here, they will. Why? Because this town's much better than being in Green Bay, being in Charlotte. No offense to those cities, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So you want to get away from those places, you come down here. And the events that are here are major events. We're a major event, big time town. So minor league stuff just never works. Look at we have minor league baseball in town. You're not old enough, but we had the Orioles, we had the Miami Miracles, we had the Fort Lauderdale Yankees, all that shit is gone. All that shit is gone. Can't make it. Nothing makes it here. Nothing minor makes it here at all. And majors, look at the Marlins. The Marlins barely exist. and they're major league. But because they do everything minor league, you know, that's what they get. They get a minor league response for a minor league team. So you got to understand who we are here in South Florida. We're about big events, baby. Big events, big entertainment. That's what we want. Calle Ocho. You know, we throw a street party. It's freaking 30 blocks long. It's big events, bro. You know, Coconut Grove Arts Festival, big events. That's what we're all about, dude. We're not about minor leagues. Let's see what else. George Metellus, Big O. I know zero about hockey. Should I be worried about the Panthers missing the playoffs? No, not at all. They're too beaten up, bro. No. In fact, George, I'm at the point now where I'm almost against the idea of killing yourself to make the playoffs right now. I almost want the Panthers to take the year off, the offseason off. They've had 3 of the longest seasons than everybody else and 3 of the shortest off seasons than everybody else. And then they got hit with their 2 biggest stars in Barkov and Tkachuk, plus a slew of other injuries, and then more injuries throughout the year. What happened to them is just absolute horrible luck. And the best thing that can happen to them is miss the playoffs and have the entire offseason to recalibrate, rest, recharge, and get healthy. And you could get your 3rd championship in 5 years. I'm good with that. I'm sure you will be too. Still a dynasty, right? So all good, man. It's good. It's not a bad thing. Don't look at it that way. It's just a lot of frustrations that there was a lot of injuries. It's not their fault. They didn't choke. They didn't do is it 06 when the Heat won it with Wade, Sean? Right? 06? Right? Okay, so remember in 07, they brought him back, and they were all a bunch of lazy bums out of shape and all that. That's where you can get pissed. That those guys didn't give a shit and didn't really try to go out and defend the title and came in unprepared and all that kind of stuff, and Riley lost his shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's not what happened here. This is like bad luck compounded on top of bad luck, on top of bad luck, on top of more bad luck, on top of more bad luck. And the hockey gods said, this is not your year. And that's just what it is. And we just got to chalk it up and move on. I'm good with it. I'm good. I hope they miss the playoffs. I really do. I hope they rest, because I don't think they need to. They're not healthy enough to take on the beating of the playoffs and last it like they did the last couple of years. So I think the best thing they do is recharge. True Finn fan says, damn, I don't know what that means, but threw it out there. The average age to purchase a house this year, yes, sir. 40 years old is the average age for a new homeowner is 40 years old. You know, the American dream was when you were like 20, you got married, 18, 21, 22, and you both had jobs, not even necessarily careers, and you went out and bought a house because it was easy. It's cheap, you know. Yeah, it's not like that anymore. I purchased my home in 2000 at the age of 22. I ain't got those problems. No, I know, but that's as I keep telling you, from 2001 and on, our presidents, those 4 presidents, have printed $32.7 trillion of our $38.7 trillion deficit. Those 4 presidents. They added $32.5 trillion of our $38 trillion debt. That's all you need to know. I don't know how many times I got to repeat it. And it doesn't matter what stupid party you want to support. They're all burning you left and right. The current guy that's in place is at $10.6 trillion printed in 5 years. Record, by the way, because he just went through a record first year. So, you know, it is what it is, dude. That's why. And by the way, True Fin fan, the house you bought in 2000, that's worth a lot more nowadays. It's not really worth that money. It's all inflated. It's all inflated because of the dollar. Yeah. So it's crazy. All our homes have gone to these ridiculous prices, like mine too. And I bought mine right around the same time you did. And man, it's more than doubled in price nowadays. You think it's really worth that? No. It's just the money ain't worth shit. So people they just don't look at things the right way in general. They look at it the wrong way. Oh, it's worth all this. No, dude, it's really not worth that much because the money doesn't buy what it used to buy. But whatever. It is what it is. Let's see. Should have drafted Herbert and kept Flores. We would have been unstoppable and probably won a title by now. Derek, he couldn't build an offensive staff. What are you talking about, bro? And Herbert can't even win a playoff game. And he chokes in most of the big moments. So how's he supposed to get better if Flo can't build an offensive staff? You know, some of you people out there, Derek, you should not do drugs or don't drink or something. And if you have already, then you should have stopped because look where you're at now, bro. Look at what you're saying. Flores couldn't build. The guy had 3 or 4 different offensive coordinators and offensive line coaches. Chan Gailey got here and goes, God, I can't work for this guy. I'm out of here. Some of you out there, you just you really don't think before you say something. You don't really realize what you're saying. Like Brian Flores couldn't build a staff. How can you be a head coach if you can't build a staff? You can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. We had the Miami Hooters for the Arena Football. I think they were around for 1 season. No, I think a couple of seasons. I think they might have made it for 2 seasons. Yeah. Yep. I have a helmet. I have a Hooters helmet. Let's see. Big O, where did you get your hat that is orange version of a white 95? Oh, this one? You talk about this one? This is at Kaneswear. And use our code, Big O10. You will get 10% off. I just got this one like last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. I saw it and I was like, oh man, I gotta have this hat. Gotta have this hat. So freaking sweet. Yeah, it's the remake of it. Yes, you are correct. You are correct. What else do we have? The optimism in me says, give this Fins management a chance. And the pessimism says, I'm being lied to before. I'm just, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and just look at it this way. I'm going to sit back and say, show me. And I'm going to judge you along the way. And that's it. Jordan Schultz says Packers free agent QB Malik Willis is in demand as expected, and interested teams I've spoken to at the Combine in Indianapolis believe me, he is getting at least $30 million per year, and it's a foregone conclusion. Let me see. Can I do it with both? There. Okay, there. Now, please no Dolphins. Please no Dolphins. Please, John Eric Sullivan. Don't be foolish. Don't pull the trigger. Okay? I've prayed. Oh, God. Hope they don't make that mistake. Jeff in Long Island, did you hear President Trump say that we need to have a 50 mortgages you'll never pay for? You'll be dead before. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. 50-year mortgages. I mean, it's so stupid. I just saw a car at a dealership, Infiniti, that costs more than my first house. Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see. You need a 25-year mortgage to help purchase that car. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Herbert has some of the most fourth-quarter comeback wins. He is one of the clutchest QBs. Yeah, right. I don't think you've been really watching the game, but that's all right. Big O, just print more money, go Dolphins. Exactly. I'm with you there. Well, that's what it is. It's from that era, Pat. The hat is it's a remake of that era, because this hat was the original one that they made, and now they just redid it. So yes, exactly. You are correct, sir. And that's what it reminds me of, the Marino era. When I see this hat, it reminds me of Shula and Marino. That's what I think of. When I see this hat, I think Shula and Marino. That's why when I saw it at Kaneswear a couple of weeks ago, I go, oh, no. Oh, hell no. Because every time I go to Kaneswear, I have to check their Dolphin hats. And obviously, it has to have, there's only one logo. I bail on the whale. And I always get in trouble. And they know my deal that I'm all old logo. So usually when I come in, Jeff or Jack or somebody will tell me, or even Brett, hey, did you see we got some new old logo stuff? They'll point it out to me. And I'll go over there and I'll go check out whatever old logo stuff and I'll buy it. So it's good. It was good yesterday. I was able to style my classic Dolphin jacket because it was cold, man. That was fun, actually. That was good. But yeah, this is definitely Shula Marino right here. When you think about this hat, anybody that's old, of course, you got to be old. You have to have lived it. It'll remind you, because that's when this hat originally was created. And I think instead of this being sewed in like it is now, it was kind of like something that was popping out. I don't know, I'm misplacing the word for it, but you know what I mean. It was a different way of doing it, instead of it being sewed in, which now this one probably is cleaner and it will last you longer. The other one could probably get a little damaged, a little dirty, because it was like material. These four things, or whatever, how many of them are there or whatever, it was kind of like a material that was sewn on there, if I remember correctly how the original hat was. So we are over 68,000 now in Bitcoin. We are 6% up. So there you go. Regarding the Bears moving to another city, the 49ers moved to Santa Clara, which is 60 minutes away from San Francisco, and still kept the name. I think it's less than 2 hours the name stays. Well, I don't know about the distance or whatever. I don't know about any of that. But we do it here too. Dolphins play Miami Gardens. They're the Miami Dolphins. The Inter Miami is playing in Fort Lauderdale. The Miami Fusion played in Fort Lauderdale. So the Florida Panthers, well, it's Florida, so it doesn't matter. Well, the Marlins were changed to Miami once they moved to the city of Miami. So that's good. So, yeah, but you're in like another state. That's the thing. You're not in Illinois anymore. You're in Indiana. So, you're moving to another state. And the whole Jersey thing with the Jets, yeah, you're in another state, but it's like you just crossed a bridge, dude, a tunnel. It's hard to the stadium, and you're seeing the New York City skyline right from the stadium. So I get it, but you're really right next to the city. It's not as bad as people make it out there. You're not in another miles away. I don't know how many miles is it where they're moving. Because I know the KC one, they moved to another state, but they moved to another city called Kansas City. So they got it with a technicality, They moved to Kansas City, Kansas from Kansas City, Missouri. So, it's just like, okay, you played the game. But, yeah, I think it's like 30 or 40 miles away or something that they're moving. It's not too far, but man, it's weird. Just weird. It's because Chicago Bears are like, man, that's like royalty. Like that's one of the originals. That's, we're talking George Halas. We're talking about one of the fathers of football and shit. And it's just weird that the Bears will not be in Chicago, man. Wow. Yes, sir.
It's about 25 to 30 miles and about a 40-minute drive approximately.
Okay. Sucks, man. I feel bad for Bears fans in that sense. Well, what the hell? It is what it is. Money is money, man. And that's what drives this world. Nothing else. They don't care about anything else. They just care about making money. And this is where I would tell you, Stephen Ross is an owner that cares about money. He cares about money a lot. He cares about it so much that he's turned that property into a gold mine with an F1 race, a hospital, the Canes, the tennis tournament, Cirque du Soleil, whatever, all kinds of music festivals and concerts, and the biggest concerts, biggest artists, they go there, obviously, and multiple nights, country, rock, pop, doesn't matter. I mean, that place is making money. And now we get the news that the Jacksonville Jaguars have now committed to two home games in London. And as you all know, that the London is the home for the Jags. And by the way, the Jags now have turned into a pretty good team. So now Jacksonville is going to have two less home games of their team. Why? Because they're into making money. Owners are into making money. And when you hold a game overseas, you're going to make more money from that game than you are from your home game. Stephen Ross is an owner that is more about making money than anything else, more than winning, more than anything else. It's all about making money, and he's proven that over and over and over again. He keeps people around that are mediocre. He never really puts together a real winning franchise. And yet they sell fluff and more fluff is what they end up selling. And they have been very willing to give up a home game to go overseas, just like the Jags. And don't kid yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Ross will screw you. And it's coming. That's my prediction. Stephen Ross will screw the Dolphins down the line. It may not happen in the next 2 or 3 or 5 years, but the next 6 to 10, when the league is at 18 games and your home games are at 9, I can see the Miami Dolphin fan base having only 7 of those 9 games here in South Florida. And I can certainly see Stephen Ross and his team going to Spain and going to Brazil every year and making a boatload of money. They also get their international fans to go to those games because there's a lot of international fans for the Miami Dolphins. I got to see that when I went to Spain, that I saw a lot of American Dolphin fans, but I saw a lot of other types of Dolphin fans that weren't Americans. And that is pretty cool. And of course, a revenue source for them. And that's what they're looking at right now in the NFL. They have milked all the revenue sources here in the United States. They now have to start milking them internationally. And whether it's going to be with expansion teams down the line, an expansion division in Europe or something like that, it'll come. It'll happen. But for now, they need to sell the game overseas so they can start to build the fan bases overseas and generate more revenue, because that's what it's all about. It's all about money. That's what Stephen Ross is all about. And in his ownership, in 16 years that he's owned it, he's proven to you that he's more about money than winning. Correct? He definitely accomplishes one over the other. He doesn't accomplish the other at all. It's never a winning franchise, but it's always winning when it comes to the bank. It's always taking your money every single time. They waited for a little streak this past season so they can dig into their season ticket holders, and they got them right there in that moment. And then when they went back into the tank, that deadline had come and passed. How convenient. They're all about the money. They have yet to prove that they're about winning. They have yet to prove they know how to win. But they have proven that they know how to make a lot of money. And the Jags have always led the way for the Dolphins because the Jags started giving away a home game. And then Dolphins were going, wait a minute, is that going to happen to us? No, that's not going to happen to us. And guess what? It started happening to you. And now you're watching the Jags give away 2 home games. Don't be surprised. 6, 7, 10, 12 years from now, Miami Dolphin fans only have 7 of 9 home games because 2 of them will constantly be on the road. Get ready to get screwed. By the way, our friends at Hialeah Park are giving away his and her Cartier watches. Saturday night, they gave away on the 14th. Now they're giving it away on the 28th. Come on out on Saturday. Take advantage. You'll love it out there. It's a beautiful thing. Right? So come on out. And by the way, at 1 a.m., they give it away on Saturday night, which is like early Sunday morning, really. So you have to be present, which I always tell you, which is really cool because you get entries every time you play the slots, right? And you have to be present. And if you're not present, you can't win. So that means not everybody that plays the slots all week long, all month long are there. In fact, a fraction of those people are there. So your chances actually increase dramatically to win the car, the gold, the Bitcoin, the Cartier watches, his or hers, whatever they're giving away on a consistent basis. So get on out there this Saturday to Hialeah Park, play the slots, get your entries, and then good luck to you. All right? And if you win, any winner on this show, make sure you give us a heads up that you won, bro. You know what I'm saying? Be pretty cool. Like to see one of our listeners be a winner. That'd be awesome. I want to win. I'm eligible for it. I'm not an employee of Hialeah Park. Jamie says the 2 Kansas cities are butted up against each other for the 49ers. They moved about 50 miles. Yep. That's what I was going to say. Bears are leaving Illinois. That's crazy. I just Chicago Bears, man. It's just like, it's not the same. It's not the same. If you're not in Chicago, it's not the same. It is what it is. What are you going to do? It's like the Red Sox Yankees moving to Michigan. Sucks, right? Yeah. It's just, man, it's the Bears, dude. Just weird. So if the Bears can move to another state, you think Stephen Ross wouldn't take away 2 home games from you? They don't give a shit, dude. They don't care about you. They care about the bottom line. And if the bottom line's better for them and their family, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. Lamar and the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl and prove all you haters wrong. Yeah, I know. I hear that every offseason. Yep. Big O, I'm having a hard time finding an all-white Dolphins fitted hat with the old logo. Nothing available online at Kaneswear and Fanatics. Have you seen this at Kaneswear? All white and then the logo. Wow, that is actually interesting. I'm wondering if I have one. Wow. I don't know. I don't even know if I have one. And I have a lot of Dolphin hats. Like a shit ton of Dolphin hats. It's the hat I have the most. You know what? Let me see something here. Well, Amazon, but it has the whale. I don't see one with the old logo on it. They're all colored. It's interesting that you brought that up. That's interesting. That the only thing I have a problem with all white hats because they're so dirty, bro. You gotta you gotta be, super careful with an all white hat. Yeah, dude, I'm looking at it here on Amazon. They don't have it, and you said Kaneswear doesn't have it, or Fanatics. That's interesting. That is very interesting, and I don't see any on Amazon. I put Miami Dolphins hat, white, old logo, and nothing. Nope. That's interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Now, says see options. It's there in Amazon. You can check it out, bro. Go to Amazon. Okay? And scroll down. Miami Dolphin Legacy 47 Clean Up OSF White. Okay? That's the title of it. So you'll find it right away. Brand 47, Miami Dolphins Legacy 47 Clean Up OSF. Okay? Good luck, man.
And I got one at Fanatics Dolphin Shop. Oh, that went off.
Oh, you found one in Fanatics?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Are you sure?
It says Pro Shop Fanatics, and there's all white.
Oh, there you go. All white. See?
And there are some available. I don't know what size is that you got. This is a fitted hat.
Oh, it's a fitted hat, so make sure you get the right size, doggy.
Yeah, it's at basically MiamiDolphins.com.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure Kaneswear doesn't have it, because you will save 10% there, bro, using my code. Make sure first that Kaneswear doesn't have it, because that's kind of weird. But I'm thinking about it. I would probably even have one if they had it. I probably would have bought it just for the hell of it. Barely wear it. It'd have to be like an event that I know it's going to be a clean play, not like a concert or some place that no. I kind of want to, that's the problem with white hats, man. Yeah. Ohio John says, I've seen them. They just go fast. So you can find them. You can find them, dude. Just look for them. But make sure Kaneswear, call them and use our code BIG010 just in case, because they may have it there. So you can save yourself a little cash. And remember, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. Okay. Let's see what else. The Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington, Texas, which is 15, 20 minutes away. That's right. That's right. I have one. It's rhetorical. Last time we won the division, it says on the hat, I hardly wear it. In fact, I think I have a white one that I barely wear. Now that I think about it, I might have one. I don't know. Sean, do me a favor. Give me a quick 1 minute break. Por favor.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go! Set the rhythm of your smart home with Slowman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Slowman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
I wish I had a white Dolphins hat. I may need to purchase one. Anyway, this is not really like the one you want, because I got a little cream on the bill. But you got to admit, it's a sweet hat, right? I mean, I wish the team and the franchise was as good as my hat collection. Right? I mean, if the Dolphins were as good as my hat collection of the Dolphins, I have so many hats, I wasn't sure if I had a white one. And I was going, maybe I think I might have one. I just don't wear it much. And sure enough, there it is. But it's not completely white because the bill's a little, which I think it's actually a cool little twist to it, to be quite honest. And is this like all white? Does it seem like a little off-white? Also, is it white or is it kind of like off-white? But I love the combination of the logo and the color of it and how they change the ring and then the fish is a different color and all that. Awesome. Got to admit, this is a sweet one right here. Okay? Sweet one right here. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, let me do a little music. By the way, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees were announced. And a lot of people deserve it. Here we go. Pink, Phil Collins, In Excess, Shakira. I'd put her ass in the Hall of Fame. Mariah Carey, Wu-Tang Clan, Sade, New Edition, Billy Idol, Iron Maiden, Luther Vandross, Melissa Etheridge, Oasis, Lauryn Hill, Joy Division, New Order, Black Crowes, and Jeff Buckley. Now, you can't put everybody that deserves to be in, but out of this list, I definitely would put Phil Collins. Okay, I don't even know how Phil Collins is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame already. I put In Excess. Dude, we lost Michael Hutchins years ago. Like, what are we waiting for? What does In Excess have to prove? Do you know how many songs In Excess has? They're freaking monsters. Mariah Carey, whether you like her music or not, the woman has sold so many albums and she has so many hits and all of that. Whatever you think of her, she's crazy or whatever, and I don't care. She's a Hall of Famer. Billy Idol, I would put in the Hall of Fame. He's done more than enough on his own. He doesn't need Generation X or anything like that, and not that Generation X would be worthy of it anyways. But Billy Idol, oh my God, easily a Hall of Famer. Iron Maiden, I don't even know why they're not even in the Hall of Fame already as it is. It's ridiculous. One of the most successful metal bands ever. And they've been around forever, and they're one of the few metal bands that can still sell out stadiums and arenas. That's rare nowadays. Judas Priest and the Scorpions cannot draw like Iron Maiden does. It's not even close. And they all deserve to be in the Hall, don't get me wrong. But Iron Maiden should be in there. Luther Vandross. Are you kidding me? One of the greatest R&B singers of all time. Monster hit, monster super talent. Rest in peace. Luther Vandross deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Joy Division, New Order. It's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? You know, they're one of the bands that defined the 80s. And when you talk about Joy Division, they defined the genre. So, you know, yes, those are there. Now, people, Wu-Tang Clan, I could easily understand them being in there. Did I mention Sade? Because I did put the star on there. Sade for sure. I'd put, oh my God, Sade is amazing. Oasis is another one that I wouldn't mind. But since they're assholes, I don't mind keeping them out for a little bit more. No chance in hell you put Lauryn Hill in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, bro. Give me a freaking break on that one. But then again, Kate Bush is in it. You know, if Kate Bush can make it with one song, Lauryn Hill can make it with one album, because it is one hell of an album. I got to say. One hell of an album. One amazing album. But not enough to be a Hall of Famer. But you've watered it down so much. Who knows? All right, let's go with musicians. Since we talked about the Hall of Fame, let's go with musicians born on this date. February 25th, we start with the great Mike Peters. Sadly, we just lost him last year at the age of 66 on April 29th. The Welsh singer from The Alarm. Love The Alarm, 68 Guns, all of that. So good, man. Born in 1959 on this date. We lost him to cancer, unfortunately, last year at the age of 66. Let's see who else. Stuart Sporting Wood. He is from the Scottish group, the Bay City Rollers. Saturday. Night. The Bay City Rollers. 1957 for Stuart. Dennis Dickin, co-founder of the American band The Smithereens. Only a Memory. Born in 1957. John Doe, singer, songwriter, co-founder of the LA punk band X. Born in 53. Who else? Doug Yulee, member of the Velvet Underground from 68 to 73. When Reed Morrison and Maureen Tucker were in there, he was John Cale's replacement, born in 47. And the great George Harrison, the Beatles, of course, and solo artist, born in 43. Let's see. That is it. All right, for musicians, we now go with other famous people celebrating birthdays. Sometimes there's a musician in there. If I don't give you the age, that means they have passed away, unfortunately. Like writer Anthony Burgess, born in 1917, or International Hall of Fame tennis player Bobby Riggs, born in 1918. TV personality Sally Jesse Raphael, born in 1935, and her glasses. She is 91. She's celebrating a birthday today. Sally Jesse with the glasses is still here. You know who I feel like is the new Sally Jesse Raphael? When I bounce around, I run into, I think it's like NBC or CNBC or MSNBC or something. Her name is like Savannah Summers. And she reminds me of Sally Jesse Raphael. Now, she's just an anchor, right? But she wears the glasses in the Sally Jesse Raphael style. So when I see her, I go, you're a Sally Jesse Raphael inspiration. Anyway, happy birthday to Sally Jesse. Actress Diane Baker, born in 38. She is 88 today. Let's see who else. Wrestling. Comedian writer Jack Handy, born in 49. He's 77. Sportscaster James Brown, born in 51. He's 75. Comedian Carrot Top, born in 65. He's 61. Actress Tia Leone, born my year, 66. She's 60. Actor Sean Astin, born in 71. He's 55. TV personality and comedian Chelsea Handler, born in 75. She is 51. Actress Rashida Jones, born in 76. She's 50. Actor James Phelps, born in 86. He's 40. Actor Oliver Phelps, born in 86. He's also 40. And actor Noah Jupe, born in 2005. He's 21. Sean Stanley. I know you have at least one wrestler. What do you got?
We have quite the list today. Aaron Wolf turns 30. Maria Kanellis turns 44. Sean O'Hare was born on this date in 1971. We lost him way too early. Shoji Kai turns 84. Devon Dudley's twin sons, Terrell and Terrence Hughes, they turn 31. And the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, turned 77 on February 25th, 2000. Woo! 26.
That was the one that was on the list. Was Flair. By the way, we are at 68,500 now. We are rocketing up now. What can I tell you? We try to explain, try to break it down. We're not financial advisors by any stretch whatsoever. But yeah, we'll be back over 100 soon. Not worried about it at all. at all. At all. I was hoping we actually hit 59, 60, 61. You know, we hit 62, and I was able to buy. But I was going, I was holding out a little bit. See, I thought maybe it dipped just a little bit more, but it took off now. Damn it. I love the dips. God, just allows you to pile on more, man. Oh, just announced Metallica at the Sphere, October 26th. Wow. Are they on? How about on my birthday, the 1st? Is Metallica at the Sphere on that date? I wonder if they're doing it on the 1st. That would be a great way to spend my birthday, at the Sphere jamming with Metallica. I did it for you too, with you, Pat. My birthday was on the 1st, and we were, well, it was close, but it was like, what was it, like the 26th of September or something like that, when we went to see you two at the Sphere twice. We saw it. The first 2 nights it opened. I want to say it was like late September. It was right close to my birthday. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That would be a great birthday present, man. If I can get tickets to go see Metallica at the Sphere on my birthday, that would be really, really cool. Big O, Tony Iommi is coming out with a new solo album sometime this year. Good for him. I wonder who's going to sing. Such a genius, man. Just an absolute musical genius. Wow, that'd be pretty cool if they do it on October 1st. They haven't given the dates out yet, Pat. They just said that it's in October. Is that what it is? All right. Not bad. Not bad. By the way, what is the market doing? It should be pumping, right? If Bitcoin's pumping, Dow is up 247 points. The S&P is up almost 49. And the NASDAQ is up 2.5 points there. So it's moving a little bit. All right. We got some movement. Okay. I'll check out that text you sent me. I can't do it now, but I'll do it after. I've gotten a few during the show. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. And we always appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wait a minute. You just put October 1st.
Yeah, they're going to be there.
Really?
I just looked it up, and it says the Metallica will debut their Life Burns Faster residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas on October 1st, 1st, 3rd, 15th, 17th, 22nd, 24th, 29th, and 31st, which equates to Thursdays and Saturdays.
Hey, as in Sleepless in Seattle, you had me at first. Okay? You had me at first. When do the tickets go on sale? Because I'm in.
March 6th at 10 a.m.
I'm in. I'm in. Definitely. October 1st used to be the date that new cars used to come out. You know that? October 1st is the day that Walt Disney World opened up. So, October 1st, like a lot of shit, not just my birthday, but I've over time and shit, it's like stuff has happened on October 1st a lot. And so, boom, I get a Metallica on my birthday. Oh, baby, I'm definitely going to be there for that. That guaranteed I'm going to be there for that. Pat, you going? Are you a Metallica guy? You going? Artist pre-sale Tuesday, March 3rd.
I don't have the pre-sale, so it's March 6th for everybody, I guess.
I will have the pre-sale.
Also, they are going to be doing the Thursdays and Saturdays, and it's saying no repeat weekends. The Thursday and Saturday shows will feature entirely different playlists.
What? Say that again?
They're doing shows on Thursdays and Saturdays, and each show, the Thursday and the Saturday, will have different playlists.
So then, okay. So what's October 1st?
That is a Thursday. The Saturday is the third show. The October 3rd is the Saturday show.
Oh, what?
October 1st is Thursday.
Okay, so then I have to go twice.
You know, the first and the third. It says on the site that it will have different set lists for Thursday and Saturday entirely.
Okay. All right. Then that's it. All right. I'm back in Vegas, baby. Oh man. Wow. Twice for Vegas this year. For No Doubt in May, and then I'm back for Metallica in October, and twice, because I'm definitely going to get tickets for the first and the third. So wait a minute. But wait a minute. I'm seeing somebody's telling me something about the prices. It could be kind of crazy, so we'll see. But they don't do the snake pit. They can't do the snake pit in the Sphere. They can't. You know? So it's different. I don't know how they're going to do it. We'll see. Oh my God, really? Okay, so they are going to do a snake pit. Oh man, they just sent me the thing.
I'm actually on Metallica.com. They're going to have a meet and greet snake pit, a snake pit, enhanced reserved, super fan reserved, and then first entry, I guess, general admission.
Yeah, I don't want the snake pit is $2,200.
Yeah, you know what the meet and greet one is?
What?
$5,500.
Yeah, no, I don't need to do any of that. No. I just want to get on floor, but but now if it's like ridiculous, I won't go. If it's like a too much of a price, I paid. I'm in the 200 range for No Doubt, and I'm in the 200 range for U2 on both nights. Like I'm not gonna go crazy and pay $2,000 or $1,000 or whatever the hell it is. I'm not doing that. I've seen them a bunch of times. I'd love to see them there at the Sphere, but man, I'm not going to freaking mortgage my house for it. That's for sure. Sometimes it gets a little out of control nowadays, man. Like, it's ridiculous. It really is. So, it says, I'm a recent member of Metallica 5th fan club, LOL. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I got to see what the prices are, because if it's a little too much, then then I'll have to pass. I mean, I've seen them a billion times, so I'm good. But I really would like to see them at the Sphere, because the Sphere is so perfect. But I don't want to pay a ridiculous amount of money. I paid for No Doubt like $213 or something, $220 or something like that for the floor seats. So I'm going to be on the floor right there. That's okay. That's fine. But, and I paid around the same for U2. In fact, the first night, I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. It was the second and third nights that we had floor, me and Pat. But the first night we were in the 200 level, and we paid more than we paid on the floor, and it's not as good a seat or standing, actually. So, yeah, I do have a limit. Okay, I do have a limit. So, what can I tell you? But I'm not paying that kind of a ridiculous price to see Metallica. I love Metallica, but yeah, sometimes this is just a little too fanatical for my liking. By the way, 68,653. We're making our way to 69. Okay, and we were at. Let's see, 63.9 at 7:24 last night. So moving at quite a pace right now. It is absolutely flying. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. I like it. I like it. All right. Connor Hellebuck ended up getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom yesterday. Good for him. What else? What else do we have to talk about? Just any other breaking news? Did anything come across the wire I've missed there, Sean? I saw the news on Malik Willis that they're reporting that he's easily getting over $30 million a year, which that tells me that, the Dolphins are out. There's no way. Remember I told you when they talked about that the Browns and the Dolphins were the two teams that were most interested, that's all bad news right there. So I think the Dolphins are just driving up the price, if anything. I don't think the impressions I got from Sully, I don't think they're going in that direction. Young and cheap. Yeah, he doesn't fit that. He fits the young part. He doesn't fit the cheap part. And that's where you're going to get draft picks. Those are cheap. Free agents are not cheap. Free agents are things that you overpay for. And you only do that when you're, getting closer to something. And Miami is at the beginning of starting something. So that's where I'm at with that one. I just get the feeling that they're going to do the right thing, and they're not going to go after Malik Willis. I think this is more media created and fans, and putting the silly 1-and-1 together because they came from Green Bay and he was there, and the whole lazy lie. Well, nobody knows him better than they do. Whatever, As I gave you the examples. Do you think that Pete Carroll knew a little bit about Geno Smith before he brought him over to the Raiders? And how'd that work out? How about Matt Castle, who went 11-5 with the Patriots, and then the GM leaves New England to take the job in Kansas City and goes and trades for Matt Castle in a second rounder because he knows him so well. How'd it go? And he went 11-5 with Matt Castle. Okay? Malik Willis in his dreams couldn't go 11-5. I thought he knew him, but doesn't he know him? It's a lazy line that people throw out there. It's obvious, but that doesn't mean shit at all. I'm sorry, didn't Josh McDaniels know Jimmy Garoppolo? But he brought him anyways to the Raiders. And how'd that work out? But he knows him. So, the lazy media line is, well, Sully and Half know him. They know him better than everybody else. I'm going to trust them. So you were trusting them in the other three cases I talked about? Because Pete Carroll's a hell of a lot more accomplished than Sully. And somehow he knew Geno Smith. Did he know that he was going to lead the league in interceptions? I don't think so. So, let's see. $1,700 for premium seats and 3 nights at Venetian, both shows. Wait a minute. $1,700 for premium seats and 3 nights at the Venetian. Is that like a package for the whole thing? Oh, okay. That first one you sent me, 3 nights at the Venetian and both shows for $1,077. That's actually not bad. You get both shows and 3 nights. The Venetian is like one of the best hotels to stay at. It's so beautiful. That's actually not bad because that's $200 a night anyway. So yeah, okay. Interesting. But you're right. No telling where the seats are. Now, listen, I've seen them a whole bunch of times. I don't have to be right up close like I have been for many times before and all that. So it's all good. It's not the worst thing in the world. You're still going to hear it and see a great show and all that. So, and you get to see 2 different set lists, which I did that here. I did that in Montreal, and I did it in Tampa when I saw them for 2 nights and 2 different set lists. And they did the same thing. And I love when they do that. And like when I saw them at Hard Rock, and they were doing the first 2 albums in completion because they were honoring their first record company and the owners from their first record company in the first 2, because they were with another company in the first 2 years. I forgot the name of it. The first 2 records. So I love when they do that, man. Metallica is very fan friendly in that sense. Expensive as a mofo to see them. Don't get me wrong. You're going to pay a price to go see Metallica, but they will give you a show, man. And they will go out of their way to play all kinds of tunes, man. I love that. I've seen them so much that now I've pretty much listened to most of their catalog at different points. And that's really cool. You can't say that about all bands because they just don't do that kind of stuff. So, yep. He turned 79, I think, a few weeks ago. Who are we talking about? Who turned 79? What were we talking about? I don't know. So, I don't know who that is. Anyway. All right, folks, we are going to wrap it up here on the show. We appreciate all of you out there. We thank David Ferronis and Ira Winderman for joining us. We thank the great Sean Stanley, the man that mastered this entire platform. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Real quick, sorry. It looks like he commented earlier, hey, Big O, Tony Lamy is coming out with a new solo album sometime this year.
Yes.
Oh, Laomi, I'm sorry. I was reading what it was text there.
So he's 79, he's saying. Okay.
I'm guessing that's where that responds to.
Yeah. That makes sense because that's right around his age. Yes, that makes sense. He's amazing, dude. Tony is so freaking amazing. Awesome. All right, folks, we are out of here. We shall see you guys tomorrow morning. We're back in studio tomorrow, and then Friday we're at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Appreciate all of you out there as always. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the like button. Also, smash the notification bell because you never know. Sometimes we adjust. Like today, we came on live at 9:55, 9 to 10, all that kind of stuff. So it happens. So hit the notification bell, hit the like button as always. Make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Always appreciate it. Visit our amazing sponsors who get it done. We shall see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, same bat channel.